Okay, today we've got Anthea McIntyre MEP and Dan Sames, who's a candidate standing in the elections in May 22nd, and they've come to Telford to help us, and I thought a great opportunity to ask them a couple of questions about what they do and why it's important that European elections are something that people in Telford participate in. So Anthea, perhaps you could start off by telling us a little bit about what your job involves and why it matters to people in Telford.
Well, I represent people in Telford and the whole of the West Midlands region in Europe, so I'm there to try and get a better deal for the UK. I'm there to speak on behalf of our small businesses in particular. 85% of all new jobs come from small businesses, so what I do is trying to encourage them and do what I can to help them thrive.
And how will the election on the 22nd of May make a difference?
Well, I think we need to make things work better in Europe. And so if we elect Conservatives in May to the European Parliament, they will work with David Cameron and the Conservatives in the UK to get a better deal for Europe and put that deal to the British people in a referendum.
And Dan, on the doorstep, people say to me very often that they're going to vote UKIP at a European election. What would you say to them?
Well, I think you've got to sort of say that UKIP don't actually stand up for Britain's interests when they're actually in Europe. Their track record hasn't been the best. And only Conservatives can really deliver real change for Europe. Only Conservatives can protect businesses, can make sure we campaign for lower EU budgets, and UKIP just aren't going to be able to deliver that.
Mm-hmm. And if you succeed in becoming an MEP, what would you like to see as your biggest personal achievement in Europe?
That's a good question. I think I'd like to see more powers repatriated to Europe and really get that renegotiation through and really make a difference and stand up for the people of the West Midlands. And I think anyone that's representing an area has got to stand up for that area's interests and see to it that the people there are represented as best possible.
And Anthea, in terms of powers being repatriated, are there some in particular that you would like to see as a priority?
Well, for a start, we've said we will bring back the Justice and Home Affairs measures. That, I think, will happen hopefully before the general election. I would like to see powers about employment brought back to the member states. We don't want a working time directive. So many countries have got an opt-out. There's no point in having the directive. And so let those sorts of decisions be made locally in the member states. And my whole idea is that we repatriate those sorts of powers, we cut the budget, we reduce what Europe does, and then we let the British people decide whether we stay in or not.
And this morning you met a number of people from Telford on the doorsteps. What did they have to say to you?
Met a great variety of people. The most encouraging were the ones that have in the past voted Labour, that now are going to vote Conservative, not just in Europe, but in the general election they're going to be voting for you, Lucy, which is very good news. And also we've managed to persuade a few people who were UKIP potential supporters that it was a wasted vote and that voting UKIP would just give them Labour, so they're going to vote Conservative too.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, both of you, for coming to Telford today, and good luck on the 22nd of May.
No problem. Thank you.